Hi everyone, you're with Lucy from Art Shed Angel, and today I want to show you how to make these very simple cards using the cut, create and foil dies from Couture Creations and also their new beautiful alcohol inks. If you like my video, please make sure that you click that button and subscribe. I also do art journaling and there's lots of things for you to see and lots of techniques. And also, if you do like art journaling, I am an admin with Jolene Payne of Live Art Journaling and Self-Development. All the links will be below, so please make sure that you subscribe. So let's get started. Today I'm going to make two very simple cards using the cut and create dies, some Yupo paper and some of the beautiful new alcohol inks that Couture Creations has brought out. They are just divine. There are 51 colours and in that there's a whole array of pearls. So I'm going to start with their actually pieces of self-adhesive Yupo paper. So when you're actually making cards, there is your 200 GSM Yupo paper, your 120 GSM Yupo paper, which is translucent, and there's also this self-adhesive Yupo paper available. You'll also need to have some alcohol blending solution. That helps move the alcohol inks around the page. So we're going to just put these things out of the way for the moment and I'll get started. So I'm going to do one full background and then I'm also going to do a section to go inside this circle that I have here. So this is a cut and create die. I'm going to show you two ways to use it today. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to put some colour onto this page. So I'm going to be using some of the beautiful pearlescent alcohol inks. So I'm going to use Tranquil and I'm going to use Intrigue. I love the names. And I'm going to use Villainous. So I'm going to use purple, blue and pink to do that, and they are all in the pearl range. Now you can see here that I actually have the colour on the top. So what I've done is just with my finger gone around, put gesso on the top and then done a drop of it on the top of each one. It just makes it easier. For videos you can see what I'm doing, and also I find it much easier to find things or to find them. And the ones that are pearlescent have the gold as well at the top. Now you've got a couple of different tools available to you. So this is one of the exciting ones I really like. You can see I've been using it a lot, and it comes in a little holder that you can hold it. It's beautiful rose gold and it's an applicator. So it has a little heart felt piece on it and it just velcros on like that. And you can see I've turned it over, so you get a lot of use out of it. And this one here I'm going to use to do one of the backgrounds. So with the applicator you can use your inks, it's just great. So the first thing I'm going to do is shake up my alcohol inks. It's really important to make sure that that pearlescent is not at the bottom. You can't hear, oh, can you hear now? You can hear that little bead. So if you can't hear that bead, it's stuck in the pearlescent at the bottom. So before I start, I tend to give my inks a little bit of a shake. And the fun thing about that is it's a bit of exercise before we start. Dance along to some music, it's lots of fun. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is with this piece here, I'm just going to put some, oops, I think I actually have it upside down. I do. Sorry about that. Just make sure you've got your Yupo paper the right way around. So I'm going to put some drops of the alcohol blending solution down first, and then I'm going to put just drops of colour. And you really don't need to squeeze the bottles. If you squeeze the bottles, you're going to get too much ink out and you don't want to do that. So this is just going to be for a very simple card. And you can see how it travels all on its own. It's kind of a little bit like magic. And we'll add a little bit of the blue as well. And you can see the metallics. It's probably a little bit hard on the camera, but I can see these metallics appearing. So I'm going to be using the middle of this piece inside this heart. So I'm not, I will actually keep all the little bits. I'm an art journalist, so I will be keeping all the other little bits to be used at another time. Now, I'm actually looking at how that's drying. I think I'm going to let that dry just as it is. And you can see here that you start to get these beautiful lines happening around the spots, and all the different colours work differently, so it's worth having a play. I'm going to let this one dry naturally. I do use mainly a hair dryer on my Yupo paper. I find that I like to dry it quite a bit, and if you use a heat gun too closely you can warp your paper, but you most certainly can use your heat gun. Just don't hold it on a spot at one time. Now this one here, I want to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to put quite a bit of the alcohol blending solution down. I've already got a little bit of colour on here. I have different ones for different groups of colour. But I want to cover this whole background, and you can see here, oh, I haven't even added any ink yet, which is so amazing. That's just what's coming off the applicator from the last time. So if you use yellows, make sure you keep one for just yellow. You get 10 in a pack. And this blue and pink one I've been using a lot, so I tend to keep it as it is. Now I've done that. Oh, throwing things around. Now I'm going to put some spots. Now I've just put the lid back on my alcohol blending solution. It's important that you do put the lid back, because if you leave your lid open, it will dry out. So now I'm going to just put some dots over the page, and I'm going to use a steel straw to blow my ink around, making sure that you don't breathe this in. Now in this case, I'm going to use this as the background for this. So I really don't need to be too precious about there, but I'm going to cut that out. So I do want to keep that little bit of background. Just move my camera. So I am going to make sure that I keep that bit there. So I'm just going to put some more drops of the purple. So this is a different effect again, because we've actually put some ink on the background first. Excuse my head. Now I'm going to take some alcohol blending solution, and I'm just going to put spots here and there and do the same thing. So you can see it's actually quite lovely how it takes away the ink where we did the background, and it starts to spread the other inks. Now I'm going to put a little bit of that blue pearl in as well. I find alcohol ink so freeing, especially if you're finding a bit of a block in your creativity and you're just looking for something to help you through. You will find this is one of the best ways to get over that block. So you can see there, it's just turning out lovely. Then I kind of just have a look at it and I go, I really like the way it's kind of splashed around, but now I'm just going to put some simple little dots here and there. and it's really up to you where you stop. I think it needs just a little bit more blue. And what you can also do is put your little drops of a colour down, then also use your alcohol blending solution and put a little bit of that in each of those drops, and it will behave differently again. I think that's great. So I'm going to be using this cutter over the top of that, and I think that's fine. I'm going to leave that just like that and let it dry. Now you can see this other one here has dried with these beautiful lines, and if you could see it, it has a real kind of sheen about it. So if you like, you can leave it like that. So we're going to leave it like that because I want to make a card with it now. And I'm going to make two cards using two different techniques with the Cut and Create dies. Now while my GoPress foil machine is heating up, I'm going to do some cutting out. So I've waited for my alcohol inks to dry. Now I'm also going to quickly have a look at how this fits on here. So I'm just going to stick it to the back of this because I have determined that it's going to be that way around. So you can just use some tape and stick it down. Then I'm going to put it in the machine, put my plate over the top and go over here. And I've got the Go Power and Emboss machine here, which is so easy to use. Click Run. I've got to say that sound actually frightened me to start off with, but now I quite like it. Now that turns itself off when it's done. So this has come out all die cut. I just need to take my tape off. And that piece there will be a card for another day. So I have my piece all ready to go, and that's going to go on a card like that. And what I want to do next is cut that same shape out of this pink card, and that's going to sit absolutely in the center. So I'm just going to put that through the machine. Okay, so we've got that cut out as well, and that's going to sit in there. Now this is just about hot enough. I'm just waiting for the green light to come on, and when the green light comes on, it is hot enough. And I've had my Cut and Create die sitting there, heating up. Now the green light has come on. I have cut myself a piece of foil. Now I'm covering that, I'm putting that over the top. Now you must make sure that the colour is face down onto the actual die. And I'm also going to be using a piece of watercolour paper here. Now watercolour paper is quite textured. Well, this one is, it's cold pressed. So I'm going to put a shim in. Now this is just a piece of cardboard that I'm putting in for extra pressure. And often if this is the case, I will put it twice through the machine. So I take it off the plate, press run, and run it through the machine. Now I'm just holding it tight as it comes out, and I'm going to put it one more time through. This is so much easier than doing a hand turn one. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. Oh, so it's definitely cut. Just put those bits out of the way. And Look at this beautiful foil. Oh dear, I've made a bit of a mistake. I had actually measured it the wrong way around, so the heart should have been there. And that's how I was planning it to be. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. That's what the fun part about this whole card making is. And I can add some little hearts into those spots with a pen. But I'm still going to forge ahead, and I'm going to make a card with this because I'm really liking how pretty it is. It's soft colours and it's really lovely. Now I'm going to take some other cardboard and I'm going to do the word happy, and I'm just putting it at the moment into the machine to heat up, into the Go Press foil machine to heat up. Now I found a piece of pink cardboard that is very similar to the pink in the alcohol inks. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do it in the purple again. So I'm just going to cut myself a piece of purple big enough to cover the happy. And we'll go back over here. This is all heated up. It's been in there long enough. Lay my foil down. And I'm going to use a smooth part of the card. It's a little bit better to foil. Put my bit of cardboard shim in just so we have nice contact. And I'm going to run it through the machine. And let's have a look at what we've got. So, pull it off, and now I've just done this foil. Just need to have it come off, and it's turned out beautiful. Oops. Let's poke that little bit out. Make sure all the bits are poked out. And we have our word happy. And what a simple little card to make, and how quickly was that done. Now we have enough things left to make a few other cards. I will stick that down. Now the wonderful thing about this is that this Yupo paper is self-adhesive, so I'm going to put that down. Just be careful when you take the back off if you've cut it fine like this. Make sure my card's the way up I want it. And I'm just looking at the size of the edges. And I'm just going to glue all these things down, but we'll do that when we get to the end. So it's quite bright in the middle, but it's got these beautiful colours to the outside. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm actually going to use this one here, and I'm going to die cut that. I'm just going to use it to die cut at the moment. So I'm going to just put that on the die cutting plate. Because all I want is this circle. Now this time I'll remember that I need to do it that way down. So my plate, and hopefully I'll get it the right way around this time. Oops. So I've got my center of the circle. Now I am doing it this way because this is the right way up. And this time I'm going to use some watercolor paper, but I'm going to use inks on here instead. So I'm going to use some lovely inks, and I think I'm going to use these are the pigment inks. I'm going to use hot pink, and I'm going to use violet and a little bit of cherry. Now these actually match really nicely to the inks, and I'm going to use my cutting plates, I'm not putting on the hot foil, I don't need to. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to dab some of this ink on, and I like getting like that ombre effect. So I'm not dabbing too hard, and I'm not worrying too much if I get a little bit in those grooves. Use the violet. So what I'm trying to do here is get different colours around the circle. I probably should have gone with the dark colours first. So what I'm going to do is I'm not taking this pink all the way over. I'll go over with that purple. Okay, now I put this on my plate and I'm going to use some pink card, put it over like that and run it through the machine. So this is cut beautifully. I'm going to take my die and let's have a look at what we ended up with. We just need to poke that through. There, it's coming off. So look how pretty that is. I really, really love the look that you can get with the ink pads. I love the foils, but one of the things that I was really excited about is the fact that we can use these as stamps as well as die cuts. So it's a terrific way to make something very, very special. Okay, so now you can see that's going to sit in the centre of that circle, and we're also going to put it this time, cut 2 strips of this pink to go either side, almost like a ribbon. So I'll just cut that. And this time I'm also going to do the happy. I'm going to ink them up again. I'm going to use this time just the violet. Now I'm just making sure that I've got enough ink on here because I went away to get a piece of cardboard. Now I'm going to put the piece of card over the top. Put my plate over the top. Try not to smudge it when you do this. Go over, put it through the machine. Okay, so we've got it out. Now you need to be a little bit careful when getting this out because you don't want to smudge it. Because it is pigment ink, it won't be quite dry yet. So use your craft knife or a tool to push it through. Okay, so look how lovely that's turned out. Now there is nothing stopping you putting this in embossing powder and actually embossing this ink, which looks really great too. So I'm just going to put this aside. And you can see that we have a very simple card created by just using this, these 2 cut and create dies and some alcohol inks. So we have made 2 very simple cards. We've still got lovely leftover bits for other cards as well, but we've used the 3 alcohol inks, Villainous, Intrigue and Tranquil, and they're the pearlescent ones, and we've also used some lovely foil on this one, and we've used the inks on this one, so you can see there's quite a different look. But what simple cards to make. So if you needed to make a whole heap of very, very simple cards, I really like just the word happy on a card. So thank you everyone If you liked my video, I would love you to subscribe to my page and make sure that you click that subscribe button. And also you are very welcome to join my art journaling page, which is live art journaling and self-development that I run with Jolene Payne. So thank you everyone, and I look forward to bringing you some more videos very soon. Thank you. Bye.